The ThinkTenaciy podcast and the podcast idea actually happened during a Christmas period. Now, Christmas is the time for fun and joy. Unfortunately, I was suffering from severe depression. I was in my darkest hour. Hi guys, welcome to this special bonus where I share with you why I started ThinkTenaciy podcast and how I started it. So stay tuned to the end, and I'll share with you the brand new website for ThinkTenaciy podcast. I'm your host, Bella Rareweld. Feel free to contact me by sending an email to podcast@thinktenaciy.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast show, searching ThinkTenaciy in any of your favorite podcast providers. I believe you are brilliant and you can become successful regardless of any mental health challenges. So I wanted to share a little bit more in detail to why I decided to create ThinkTenaciy podcast and how I went about doing it. First of all, I would like to give so much thanks to my mentor. His name is Barnaby Winter, and he is one of the UK leading brand experts. I think on a future episode, I will invite him onto ThinkTenaciy podcast. We have worked together over a decade, and he has helped me to achieve many of my business goals and targets. He was really the primary inspiration for my motivation to share my diagnosis of a mental health illness. I was nervous sharing my normal day-to-day job because I didn't want there to be any confusion. He encouraged me not only to share my story, but to be really transparent on who I am. He told me and motivated me that people really want to know how you got from A to B to be successful. So, first of all, I would like to share with you that I am also a professional speaker in the world of networking. If you'd like to learn more about my networking business, feel free to visit my LinkedIn profile or visit my website, bellanetworking.com. So how did I come about with the idea to create the ThinkTenaciy podcast? Well, my mentor for the last 2 years was drumming in me, Bella, it's coming to the time you really need to share your story. We parked the idea for such a while, and finally I got the courage. Finally I felt brave. And it's funny how things turn out, because you may have a strategy, you may have a plan, but sometimes the actual launch date of a new business strategy may not be in your control. The ThinkTenaciy podcast and the podcast idea actually happened during a Christmas period. Now, Christmas is the time for fun and joy. Unfortunately, I was suffering from severe depression. I was in my darkest hour. I actually felt there was no hope. I couldn't even feel or think what the new year would bring to me. I had a little bit of tenacity that I thought to myself, what I can take control of this Christmas is I want to learn a new skill. This Christmas is a challenging Christmas for me. Actually, probably one of the worst Christmases I've ever had. But what can I control? I thought I would give myself personal development and learn a skill. And the skill was podcasting. One of the greatest joys during that Christmas time was I took time to develop my podcasting skills. I researched like there was no tomorrow. I found out what does it take to launch a podcast? How do you construct it? How do you do the graphics work? How do you do the editing? And the end result was ThinkTenaciy podcast. During this process of researching, learning what it takes to be a podcaster, there was actually a magical gift of hope. And this gift of hope I'd like to share with you. As I was distracted with learning what it took to become a podcaster, I realised I was actually healing from the depression I was going through. At the time, I didn't realise it, but it's so weird. As I'm recording this podcast now, I can see how I healed from my depression. Those dark, awful hours that I was suffering. I'm actually feeling a bit emotional as I'm sharing this with you. But the gift of hope that I would like to give you is this podcast in some ways saved my depression. And I feel I've got a duty to share that hope and share that tenacity with you. So I hope that you enjoy the Think Tenacity, and I feel immensely proud and brave to share with you the inspiration, and also that I followed through on the inspiration, and that's why we are here today. So I really hope you enjoy and get ready to tune into episode 1. I also have a bonus gift for you. Not only have I created this podcast for you, I have also created a website where you can get more information about mental health tips, links if you need mental health assistance, blogs, and so much more. Stay tuned to the end of the trailer and I'll share that website link with you. During that Christmas period, I had so much time on my hands that I was really able to build a great content strategy because I had so much content and so many ideas where I wanted to change the misconceptions about mental health. I found that regardless that I am diagnosed with a mental health illness, there are so many business owners, entrepreneurs, and startups that experience stress when running a business. And it made me feel so sad, but I could relate. I've run a business for so long as a networking speaker, living with bipolar and depression. So I knew exactly what that stress felt like. So the inspiration to start a podcast around mental health was so natural to me. Being the entrepreneur I am, we are masters at creating ideas, creating businesses. The funny thing was, during that Christmas period, as I was learning a brand new industry, I actually found a gap in the market. But the emphasis of this story that I'd like to share with you once again, you are brilliant and you can become successful regardless of any mental health challenges. During those Christmas days, I felt so sad. I couldn't get out of bed. The depression was tearing me up. But I found a way to fight through it. And I also found a way to find a passion that I never thought I had. A podcaster. We all have our different passions in life, and we all have things that we're really great at, and there's some things we're not good at. So I'd like to give you a challenge.
Coming up next.
I would love for you to challenge yourself. Try and follow that light to find out what your passion is. Because I can assure you, when you do something that you're passionate about, and I can assure you, when you find that passion or something that you're really good at or something that you really like, it's going to bring a smile on your face, an inner smile and an inner happiness. And one great thing about when you find a passion, it can bring you that joy that you want to do it over and over. So now I have found a new passion I love and enjoy, podcasting. And I can't wait to put together brand new content for you and brand new episodes, with also the hope that my journey and my story can inspire you and motivate you. If and when you are in those darkest hours or darkest minutes of your life and you feel like every day may be the same and things won't change, I'd like to let you know that it may not be the next day, it may not be the next week, but I would like to give you some positive reassurance that, do you know what? Summer days do come. In other words, things will get better. There will be that light at the end of the tunnel, and you will be able to look back and see how far you have come. If you've enjoyed listening to ThinkTenaciy podcast and you want to get in touch with me, feel free to send me an email to podcast@thinktenacity.com. Please subscribe to ThinkTenaciy podcast and share the link with friends and family. And I can't wait for you to join me in episode 1. Take care, and I'm your podcast host, Bella Rareweld. For more information about the podcast, please visit ThinkTenaciy.com, where you will find some mental health tips for business or personal life, and also a great listing of links should you need any mental health assistance. And guys, please don't forget, you are brilliant. You can be successful, and do not let mental health hold you back. Have a wonderful day.